All right. So we'll go ahead and get started for today. First, we're going to start out with the tempo transactions, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows what's available and are you using all the transactions that are available to you. Then we'll briefly discuss AI extract. We'll discuss the new options with this artificial intelligence extractions. It's very cool. We've had a demo in the past and we consistently add to it. So I want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. We also are going to take a few seconds, minutes to go over the redactions because yes, we have them. And then we'll also do a did you know portion where I just want to discuss some things that you may not be aware of. So before we begin, just want to make sure that if you're using Black Knight and you're not on version 3, they are starting to do more conversions. Now, after the first year, there was a pause at the end of last year. So if you haven't converted to V3 and you want to do so, our contact is here, Seaton. I've talked to him numerous times, very nice guy, and he will help you get set up to do that. We also have our web application, which is called Transcend. And Transcend is a great tool to review your transactions. You can review any types of reports like exceptions or volume. And then we also have a really cool dashboard so you can see what's your trends from last month to this month to a year. So that is a great tool for you to use or somebody on your team to use. And if you have any questions about Transcend, we do have a user guide and we can also set up a call to go over it one-on-one. And then coming up February 21st through the 24th, we will be at the 2023 MBA conference and our team will be there. So if you're going to be there, please stop by and say hello to all our lovely team members. And I also like to, when we're doing these, to do a quick poll. And so just as a test, I'm going to do the first polling question. And let's see out there, how many go to conferences just to get the swag? Just curious, it's more of a kind of a test to make sure the polling's working. And you know, sometimes these presentations can be a little dry, so let's see. Okay, cool. Let's see how it came out. Oops. All right, not too shabby. I didn't know about swag until I went to my first one. I was like, look at all these goodies I got to bring back, and my daughter really liked it. All right, so let's go back and we'll move on with our presentation. Just give me 1 second. All righty. So I wanted to talk about tempo available transactions. I think everybody's pretty well aware that they do have referrals. But if you're already doing referrals, I highly suggest to do document downloads. If you're getting and taking referrals and you're getting all that information in your case management system, the next process back where I could think of it as a process flow would be to implement, if you're not, is to also get those document downloads from Tempo. And what I mean by document downloads, I mean, you can always download at any time, but at that referral stage, it's really nice to have the note, the mortgage, the attorney referral letter, any assignments to come down at the same time as the referral. Then you have all your information right there. Your team is ready to start the work. So if you're not doing tempo downloads, I would suggest if you have the capability to maybe look into that because it would give you a lot of lift with your team. And then on the other side, we also have the document uploads. Document uploads can be required by the servicers throughout the life of the bankruptcy or foreclosure. What's nice about the tempo document uploads is that if you're doing document uploads for another platform, say like for instance, Black Knight, you can send basically the same XML mapping that you're doing for the documents and we'll handle all the lookups for you. So And what I mean by lookups, let's say that you call your first legal complaint and you send complaint for Black Knight, but for Tempo, uh, let's say Carrington requires something else, we'll do the lookup. So if you send us complaint, we can go ahead and do the lookup and do first legal for whatever that servicer requires. So in that sense, if you're already doing document uploads for Black Knight, it's a relatively simple and fast upgrade to also do the document uploads. Tempo also has the events. These are the same milestones you'll see in other platforms, Vendorscape, Black Knight, and we do those. And again, we can do the mapping for you. And for Tempo, we also do the event secondary response. So what that means is with Tempo, when you send an event to be completed, you'll get a response from Tempo, but that's the response that, hey, it hit Tempo's web service. Thank you for sending it. What the secondary response does for Tempo is that says, okay, yes, we got your transaction, and yes, it was successful, or no, it wasn't. A little bit different from other platforms because they'll just send it and they'll give you the response right away. Where Tempo doesn't do that, so to help everyone, we created this event secondary response transaction so you can get both. It's not required to do if you do the events. You don't have to do the events secondary response. It's just a bonus for you. New to Tempo is the figures request, which I think is really cool because there's so many figures that you request in the life of a foreclosure or bankruptcy. For example, you're going to need your judgment figures, your bids, reinstatement, payoff. These are all a transaction now that you can do through Tempo. It's called the figures request. And also new to Tempo is the messages to Tempo. So if you're interested in doing either figures request or the messages to Tempo, please contact us. We are looking for a couple firms that would like to test that. And if you'd like to do that, you can contact Gretchen, our account manager, or you can contact your integration analyst, and we'll get you set up on doing the Tempo available transactions. Okay. All right. At this time, let's do another poll. Did you know that you can register in Tempo Desktop to get system notifications for Tempo? And as we're talking about Tempo, I don't want to ignore the elephant in the room, but Tempo is a relatively new platform when you're considering how long the other platforms have been around. And if you don't have to work in the Tempo desktop every day, but if you do go ahead and log in and register as a user, then you would get emails that there's notifications. So as they're working through, like let's say a few weeks ago they had an issue, a slight like setback, delay in referrals, or if something's not updating, they will send out notifications to you. So it's a nice tool. It looks about half and half of everyone either know. I got 41% say yes and 59% say no. If you have any questions about that, you can ask somebody in your firm that actually works in Tempo Desktop, or you can reach out to one of us and we'll be more than happy to send you in the right directions to register with the Sagent Tempo. All right. And we'll move on. At this time, I'm going to take a short little break and to go over Tempo questions. So just give me a second. I see I've got some of the questions coming in for Tempo. You can either, if you have any questions, you can either send them to me in the chat or in the questions. Someone asked if com tags are the messages to Tempo. Yes, that is correct. Let's see. Good question. Does Tempo support the completion of DDFs through automation? Not yet. I do know that we have calls regularly with Tempo, and we have address the DDFs. And I do know that there's been discussions. They just don't have that available yet. Okay, looks like that's all we have for tempo questions. No worries if we're throughout the, like I said, the presentation, if you have one, I can go back and we'll answer them. All right, so let's move forward. Oops. So AI extract. So what is AI extract? It's a machine learning service that takes OCR, combines it with artificial intelligence to extract handwriting, data form, documents, and images. We can extract any image. We can do invoices, legal descriptions, line items. Basically, any image that you have, we can extract data from it. If we don't currently do it, we're more than willing to have a conversation, and our team and the developer will be more than happy to discuss if it's possible. So when we started working with AI Extract, the first thing we did was legal descriptions. I used to work on the foreclosure side, and they are a nightmare, and I hated typing them. And I wish we would have had something like this back in the day where we could use the image, get the legal description, and it would send it back to me in a text format that I could just copy and paste and whatever. We've done a demo on this, and it's actually recorded, and you can find that recording on our website. But what I wanted to talk about today was new to AI Extract is the 410A and the P309. These are bankruptcy documents, forms that people are using, and I've seen them. Now, I never worked with them back in my law firm days, but from what I've seen, they look like a nightmare. And basically how this came about is we had a firm say, you know what, can you do this? And we're like, let's try it. And so now we have these available. So if you are interested in AI Extract, we can do lots of different things. And at this time, let's see, let's do another poll. If you're interested in implementing AI Extract for your legal descriptions, bankruptcy, 410A, or P309, would you, if you are, just to let us know. And what we'll do is I'll keep these polls and we can reach out to afterwards. Cool. Right. Okay. So that was a solid 73% yes. So that's awesome. Makes me very excited. And if you are interested in doing those, what we can do is we can set up a one-on-one demo with you. So please reach out to your integration analyst and we can set that up. Do we have any questions about AI Extract? I'm just reading through the messages here. Okay. Right. Like I said, no worries if we need to go back, or since we had such a good response, about 75% are interested in it, please reach out to your integration analyst and let's talk more about it. Oh, I got a question. Oh, I love questions. Can I extract anything? Pretty much. I don't want to say anything because that sometimes will get me in trouble. But we can do images with like the legal description on a mortgage. I've seen answers. Let's say that, you know, someone was replying to the legal and they file an answer, we could do that. Invoices, we can extract from invoices. There really is no, I don't want to say there's no limit because there's always a limit with everything, but there is no limit on the questions you can ask us, and we'll check with our developer and see if it can. Cool. All right, let's keep moving on. The next topic I want to discuss is redaction. And before COVID, we did a webinar on redaction, and we talked about how we partnered with Black Marker to provide a service that's automated, it's accurate, it's cost effective. I tested it myself. It was really neat. It was much better than doing the old school of going through it and taking my mouse and doing a manual uh, redaction. What's nice about it is it's another AI, artificial intelligence program that we partnered with, and this time to my goodness today, redact PII information. So, the social security numbers, loan numbers, MERS numbers. The nice thing about this transaction is you can do multiple documents, and then you can also, in your return, get a flat redacted copy. So basically, no one can take that redaction and remove it. So which is nice, and I know that's not all services or not all service or redaction services offer that. There's two types that we can do with redaction. And the first one is the redaction with no human review. So that is when you'd send the document to NetDirector. The document is redacted by a black marker, and then you get the redacted document back to the firm. These, I would think, you might, like when I'm thinking to myself, which documents would I want to do this? Maybe the note, right? It's a one-page document. They look basically the same format every single time. So that would be a real easy document to send through the redaction, have it redacted, and go back to your firm. No questions asked. When you get it, you say, oh, everything looks good. We're ready to move on. Now, the second option is the manual. And when I say manual, it's not manual like you're taking your mouse and cursor and redacting. What I mean by that is you would still send your document to NetDirector in your regular document transaction. This time the document is redacted by black marker, but what's slightly different is you'll get a URL link back to you to review the redactions. You would open the link and then you could review and approve the redactions. And then after you approve them, you would get the redacted document back to you. So in this, and with both of these, you'll have your original document, and then you'll also have a redacted document in your, if you're paperless, and if you're using NetDirector, probably paperless, but in your file, right? So which is nice because now if you have to go back and you review it. For this option, when I hate to use manual, let's use human approval because it's not totally manual. I mean, like you would think. But I would see in these scenarios, I'd probably maybe want to use something like a mortgage, maybe. That's even the mortgages are the same format every time. But let's say you have discovery, right? And you have to go through pages of discovery. That would be a good document that you might want to use this option. Both are great options. It's your personal preference and your firm's processes and procedures, which one you would rather do. I've tested both and they're both very easy and user friendly and very fast. Okay. So let's just give me 1 second. All right. So moving on with redactions. Let me just give me 1 second to review our questions. All right. I think I saw one about turnaround time, very quick. I'll have to review my notes, but I believe it was 1 to 2 minutes, but don't quote me on that. I can get that answer for you. And I apologize, I probably should have had that on hand when I was getting my documents and information together for this. But I do remember it was quite quick, quite quickly, very quick. Let's see, hold on 1 second. I had a question. Is it a full service or do we have to review? You don't have to review it. That would, if you didn't want to review it, that would be the first option where you send the document through an XML transaction like normal. It's redacted and returned. Those are, like I said, the notes, the mortgages, things that are the same every single time. Those you'd probably feel 100% comfortable with. And then only reviewing it before you file your pleadings. The ones you may not feel as comfortable with is maybe your, like I said, your discovery or something that could change. So to answer the question, is it full service? It could be, right? It could be either or, depending on your preference. Can you use both for different docs? Yes, you can do, like I said, some documents if you want to send the redaction with no review, you could do some documents like that, and then the others you could do another way. It's in our data dictionary, so if you're interested in doing redactions, reach out to us. We'll have a call. We'll provide you that data dictionary, and we can go over in detail how you could do both of them. Testing is available with redactions. That's a good question. If you're interested, again, let's pick up the phone, and we'll have a call and we'll review testing. We have a firm testing right now. We've had positive feedback and they like it, so it's something that we're really excited about. I think a lot of people voiced interest before COVID hit, and then COVID kind of changed the world we live in. And so now that everything's kind of getting back into the swing of things, we are getting more inquiries on the redactions. So yes, we want to test, we want to work with you guys, and it's, like I said, it's cool. I've done it, and we're always available to discuss in further detail. All right, so we'll move along. All right, so our did you know? Did you know that document request transactions, now we have a wildcard option. And basically what this is a caret symbol to return similar name variations. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, in Black Knight, some servicers will call it a referral and some services will call it a referral letter. So using this caret symbol, now you can do a wildcard so you can get anything with referral in the name. If you put it at the beginning in your request, your document request, for this example, you would get the referral letter, referral letters. If you put it at the end after the document name, you would get anything ending in return attorney referral or just referral. Now, what's nice, if you put it and kind of sandwich it, right, you would get the referral, attorney referral letter, and referral letter. This is a nice option with document requests, especially, like I said, because so many servicers can use different names, and previously you had to have the exact name. So if you put in your document request mortgage and the servicer for some reason did mortgager original, you may not receive that. So with the document request transaction, we added this wildcard symbol to do, so now you can get all those documents, which is a huge help when getting documents downloaded. Also, did you know that if you're already taking referrals from other platforms, it's very easy to get PennyMac referrals because all it requires is an email to PennyMac, and your mapping will remain the same. Grant you the elements and the data might be slightly different, but it's just an email to get that started. So if you want to start taking PennyMac referrals and you're not, let your integration analyst know and we'll reach out to PennyMac with that email. We'll CC you and you can get started. And the next thing that's really cool with PennyMac is that events will be ready for testing next month. So if you're not getting PennyMac referrals and you want to get them, send us an email, and that way when testing starts for events, you will be ready and in the know and get that lift from your staff and to help them get some automation around PennyMac. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is, did you know, is about auction. A lot of firms use auction for the sale order, which is the auction request and response, which is the only mandatory integration transaction needed to work with auction.com. However, there's many other ones, the sale confirmation, sale clearance, bidding instructions. This one I think is important. If you're not using it, I would highly suggest that you talk to your integration analyst about setting up the cancel and postpone sale. Now that the foreclosures are starting to move a little bit more, and if there's any last minute sale cancellations or postponements, getting those to auction as fast as you can will be pertinent, and to reduce your liability. No one wants a sale to go to a sale that wasn't supposed to. So having that integration around the cancel and postpone is really nice, and we do have that available. And then we also have the sale results, which helps your scorecard. So at this time, I wanted to go over any questions for the did you know? So PennyMac, auction, and the wildcard document request. Just give me 1 second to look over. Okay. Just giving everybody a second with any last minute questions. And so as we conclude, I just wanted to reach out to see if there's a better way we can assist you about what we discussed today. I know we give a lot of information on these short webinars, but if it does help, I actually love talking to people during the day. So if you would like more information, which would be the best way for us? Would you like us to point you to the data dictionary? Would you like to have a call with NetDirector team? Or is it all above? All right, so pretty much the majority there was all above. So if that's the case, please, please, please reach out to NetDirector. I think everybody by now knows they're integration analysts. If you don't, you can always contact me. My information is on the screen now, and as I pull it back up so you can see it, there you go. Here's my information. We would love to talk to you about doing any of these or anything else. We're always open to having a call. Like I said, I actually like talking to people during the day. It makes my day so much more enjoyable. And real quick, let me just go through these questions, make sure I think I got everything. One thing I'm going to go back real quick. Contacts are internal messages, I believe, and system messages are email alerts. That I don't know, and I'm sorry, but I have your name, and I will find that out, and we will let you know. I'm not really familiar about the email alerts. I believe the messages are for the transactions are just for the messages. All right. Okay, doesn't look like we have much going on anymore. Thank you everyone who attended. I really do appreciate it. We'll be doing another one of these shortly. So if you have any topics that you ever like to discuss, please reach out. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you.